Alright, good evening everyone. This is Senior Forecaster Cameron back here again, and I'm here to go over the winter block, if you were to call it that. I'm going to be talking about this upcoming front that's going to be coming through as we get towards later this week, and I'm also going to be talking about what everybody's been talking about, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday time frame, for the potential of a second Arctic front, the potential of some winter precipitation being thrown in the mix. I'm going to dissect all of that in this 15-minute video blog here, guys. So what you guys are looking at first off, this is from the Climate Prediction Center. This is a 6 to 10 day outlook, and you can just clearly see the central and eastern half of the country looks to be well below normal over the next 6 to even 14 days here, guys, because the 8 to 14 days little to no difference with this here, guys. So as I said before, with this first shot of colder air, and you're going to get a second shot as we get towards Sunday and Monday, that's going to really set the tone for us, especially for us here in Arkansas, the Ohio Valley, the Northern Plains, Northeast, even for folks down near South Florida here, guys, because this second shot, the first shot is going to be pretty cold, but the second shot is going to mean some serious business here, guys. So that's for us in the central eastern half of the country. For our west, we have above normal temperatures here, guys, and also for Alaska. And this is just classic setup, above normal in Alaska, high pressure up there. What goes up must come down. When high pressure builds up there, it dislodges all that colder air in the Arctic and it sends it southward, guys. So this is a typical January setup. You get your ridge out west, your trough out east, and you have this quote-unquote Arctic outbreak here, guys. So it looks that we went from a long summer to a brief period of fall, and now we're making that kickstart for winter here, guys. So 2019 has been a very weird year for the country here, guys. And this is what I was talking about before, that the 8 to 14 day outlook, little to no change for us for the central and eastern half of the country. It's still going to be below normal, carrying us to near Thanksgiving here, guys. And I have been looking at some long range guidance for Thanksgiving, and it appears that we may be undergoing somewhat of a warm up as we get towards middle to late month, and it's still long range. I was kind of hinting at it a little bit. We could see the potential of possibly some severe weather as we get towards later in the month here, but like I said before, it's long range. Let's get closer to that time frame before I start diving into it. But I do foresee at least the potential of possibly a brief warm up as we get towards later in the month, and then the freezer hits us once again as we get towards early December here, guys. So this is the NAM model here, guys, and this is the wind chill. And you guys refer to our wind graphics that have been posted on the page a couple of hours ago, and this is what I was talking about the wind chills, and this is for my first front. So as I get towards late Wednesday night and early Thursday morning, that frontal boundary is really going to start moving into northwestern Arkansas here, and temperatures are going to plummet behind this frontal boundary. This frontal boundary, the first one is going to mean some business. The second one is definitely going to mean some serious business here, guys. So here's your first one here, and this is wind chills that you're looking at, not surface temperatures, but this tells the case, wind chills in the 30s throughout the day on Thursday. Temperatures will be falling, so I'm thinking for our folks in northern Arkansas that your daytime highs will more than likely be met at midnight. In terms of overall temperatures, because I'm thinking there is going to be some temperatures that may actually warm up during the overnight hours out of response to that front, and then crash as you get towards daybreak across northwest Arkansas and northern Arkansas here, guys. Central and south Arkansas, it'll be during the lunchtime and then eventually into the evening hours before this frontal boundary clears the state. And as you get towards Thursday night here, guys, wind gusts 15 to 20 miles per hour here, guys, which makes the wind chill in the 20s to low 30s, and there could be some teens for wind chills across north Arkansas and northeastern Arkansas, particularly in the Delta region, because those flat lands makes those wind gusts a little better over there in northeast Arkansas here, guys. So with that being said, you could see some upper teens, low 20s across northeastern Arkansas, especially northern Arkansas and higher elevations here. No winter weather is expected with this frontal boundary because the dry air is going to simply outrun the moisture. Not the dry air, the cold air is simply going to get here too late. The moisture is going to be getting out of here. So no winter weather is expected with this first one. The second one, question mark. But as we get towards the weekend here, guys, temperatures are going to start to rebound. This is going to be the first front's going to come through. It's going to be really, really cold on Friday, so bring a jacket with you during the day on Friday. You're going to need it even throughout the day. You're going to need it for your Friday night lights, your football games during Friday night. But Saturday temperatures are going to start to warm up. All right, and then here's our second frontal boundary here. I'm going to take you back. When this is with the GFS here, and you're looking at the upper levels, the 150 millibar temperature anomalies here, but this tells the big story. Here comes that cold air as we get towards Sunday night and early Monday morning here. And I'm going to go ahead and go to the precipitation maps here and take this with a grain of salt, because I'm telling you, there's significant disagreements in terms of who sees winter weather, who doesn't see winter weather. Does a cold, dry air get here fast enough to cancel it out? Is it slower? There's a lot of questions going towards winter precipitation chances as we get towards Monday and even a Monday night here, guys. But if you were to go over to GFS here, the 18Z, we'll see if I can step this back to the 12Z. I really don't. I'm not a fan of using the 18Z because it's a quote-unquote ensemble run. So I use the 12Z because it's operational. But as I said before, here we are Monday morning here. You got moisture overrunning cold air. Here's the situation what's going to happen. The front's going to come through Sunday night and early Monday morning. Cold air is going to be filtering in. Were to go over to GFS, it wants to develop a low across southern Texas and the northwestern Gulf. That happens. Moisture overruns that cold air. You could see the potential of some winter precipitation, particularly in central and south Arkansas, mainly in form of freezing rain, sleet, possibly some snowflakes thrown in there before completely ending as you get towards Monday evening here, guys. And that's it in terms of winter precipitation here. And I was looking later in the week because with that return flow, you could see the potential of possibly some light freezing rain before going over to rainfall. But I see that the guidance has completely backed away from that solution. So I'm not going to touch base on that right now. But this is what I was talking about as we get towards Monday and the Monday afternoon. We could see the potential of some winter precipitation here, especially across central and south Arkansas here, guys. But here's the Canadian model. And I've seen the Canadian model floating around on social media all day long, and I do realize the Canadian model comes from Canada. Well, there's a little more to that just to make a forecast off of it. Okay, the Canadian model, don't get me wrong, does relatively great with temperature-wise in the winter. Precipitation-wise, big question mark. That's with any model. That's the Euro, that's the Canadian, that's the GFS. So whenever I'm showing you guys these models, this is what they are thinking. Okay, models are meant for guidance. They're not meant to make a bold forecast off of. So just keep that in mind whenever you're looking at guidance. Keep that in mind whenever you tune into this blog and you see that on guidance, because Canadian model may be saying one thing, but Arkansas Willow watchers may be thinking another thing here, guys. So it's experience versus model guidance. So as I said before, here's the Canadian model as we get towards Sunday night and early Monday morning. Here comes that cold air. I am sold on the cold air. This will more than likely be the coldest shot we have seen so far this season. Okay, I'm thinking this cold air is going to make headlines news-wise, because it's going to mean some serious business here. Winter precipitation-wise, not really so sure yet. All right, so here we are Monday afternoon. Okay, cold air is filtering in, moisture is running over. You need three things to get winter precipitation here in a natural state. You need lift, you need cold air, and you need moisture. Okay, you've got the cold air. It appears you have a limited support of moisture, and you have a little bit of lift to cause light precipitation, wintry precipitation, especially across North Arkansas. But the Canadian model really takes this to another level. I think the Canadian model may be a little aggressive with the moisture return here, guys, because what it does, it completely outspreads the snow across the majority of the state and puts down, I believe, up to an inch of snow across northern Arkansas here, and it stretches down into central Arkansas here, and pushes even southern Arkansas before completely ending. Canadian model right now, I'm going to go ahead and put a big X because it is the outlier of all the computer model guidance right now. I'm not really sold on the Canadian model as of yet, but we will keep that in the back of our minds just in case it were to play out here, guys. So there's the Canadian model here, but like I said before, no matter if we don't even get the winter precipitation here, guys, temperatures are going to be the big story here, guys. So if you were to go with Canadian model, you're stuck in the 20s all day on Tuesday, and overnight lows are going to be in the single digits to teens because you're going to have a snowpack across the northern half of the state. A little aggressive, but we're going to keep an eye on it here, guys. So as I said before, there's the Canadian model here, and I'm going to go ahead and take you guys to the icon model real fast here, and I'm going to step it back to the 18Z. I think it's the 12Z. Excuse me, 12Z has the 180 hours here, and give me 1 second here. All right, so like I said before, there's a colder coming in Sunday. Alright, and this is what the icon wants to do, similar to the Canadian model, to a lower scale. If it were to play out, I gotta kind of side with the icon model because colder is meeting that moisture return, and you're getting this area of light snow across sporadic places across the state here, guys, and it makes that complete transition over as we get towards Monday night, early Tuesday morning, and it's completely out here. So Tuesday, November 12th, it's going to be very, very cold here, guys. Will we have snow on the ground? That's the big question at this current time here. So GFS has been taken care of. The icon's been taken care of. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys the Euro here. And the European model has backed off on the winter precipitation here, guys. And I was looking at it earlier, and this is why you have to keep a slight bit of caution whenever you're trying to forecast winter weather, because there's always going to be that one bit of guidance that's going to go against everybody else, and that appears to be the Euro, because what the Euro does, it does not send that cold air here fast enough, and this is why I have that what would you call it, that conservatism against the winter precipitation chances here in Arkansas. Do I want snow? Yes, I'm a big snow lover, but at the same time, you have to look at the pattern. You have to look at everything that needs to come together for winter precipitation here in the natural state. And what the Euro does, it just completely disregards GFS, it regards the Canadian, it regards the icon model, and it keeps it a cold rain. And what ends up happening is that colder air filters in too late. The moisture is gone, and you get no winter precipitation here, guys. So that is why I'm saying be wary of those high amount snow totals that you're seeing on social media, because Euro says no. If the Euro were to verify right now, all you would get is a cold rain, and that's it, and then temperatures will fall. So you have to keep that in the back of your mind whenever you're forecasting winter weather, whenever you're expecting winter weather here at the natural site here, guys. So am I rooting for winter weather? Yes. Will it happen? 20% chance at this current time here, guys. I would like to see guidance coming to a better agreement, because even with the ones that are saying winter weather, they have it in different areas. GFS is saying South Arkansas, Canadians saying mainly North and Central, Icon saying sporadic areas. So even the ones that have winter weather are kind of all over the place right now here, guys. So that tells me there's significant disagreements, and that tells me that it's a low confidence forecast right now in terms of winter precipitation and even rainfall. But I'm thinking rainfall chances will be there with this system, but the moisture return overall is a big question mark. And speaking of moisture return, we'll have to wait and see, because with this first frontal boundary, how much does the moisture return here in the natural state is going to be the big question, because you got to remember, frontal boundary comes through when Thursday night, and early Friday morning. Okay, your cold Friday, you have Saturday and Sunday. You have 2 days to get that moisture back before your next surge of cold air. Will it happen? I have seen it happen before. Don't get me wrong. But will it happen is the big question mark here, guys. So, as before, I do appreciate each and every one of you for tuning into this video blog here tonight, guys. I will have another one later on this week going over this potential winter precipitation chances here, guys. If you guys, like I said before, stay tuned to us, because we will have updates regarding that potential. I will have maps out. We will be on top of whatever happens next week. But I'm telling you right now, the big story, regardless of what happens, is going to be the cold air here in the natural state here, guys. Winter weather right now, if you were to put it a scale of 100%, winter weather chances 20%, cold air 80%. That is in my book right now because, like I said before, there's a lot of disagreements in terms of winter weather here in the United States. So thank you guys for tuning in to this video blog here tonight, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your Tuesday evening.